Hey YouTube, what's going on? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update on Bitcoin Cash. Right now we're at $373, guys. We're down 6.02%. And what we're going to be doing today is looking for a potential area for a nice little bounce here. We've been having nice higher highs and higher lows coming in, guys. And now we're looking at some key areas to see if we get some type of support. So if you guys like Bitcoin Cash, you want me to keep covering Bitcoin Cash, guys, like, subscribe, put it down in the comments that you like Bitcoin Cash, the reasons you like it, and what you're seeing about it. I'd love to hear y'all's opinion. So guys, we're going to dig into this. I'm excited to be here with you. So what we're looking at here, guys, first of all, we're just going to work our way up. Overall, this is our intermediate term bullish uptrend. We must stay up above this purple trend line. The next one we had is basically a parabolic trend line. And guys, that's this one right here. We're working our way up. And you can see how we basically came down to it at this area. Then we blasted off. We kind of had a little double top here. We came back down to it. We had a bullish engulfing candle off this 50-day moving average, as well as that basically 200-day moving average, back testing it. And we had another push off of it, guys. And then we continued to climb here. And then what happened was we had this beautiful stochastic cross to the downside, guys, and we just started to get pushed to the downside. But what I'm seeing now is our stochastic RSI is at 4 and 5, so we're definitely in oversold territory. And when we've gotten to this area before, guys, here, down over here, each time it was met with some type of a bounce, and it looks like we're almost ready to get that stochastic cross right now. So what I'm looking at and I'm seeing is if, guys, we can get some type of a bounce potentially off this 50-day moving average here with a stochastic cross. That's what I'd be looking for. And you can see we've been having decreasing volume with this downturn here, so we'd want to see good volume come in as well. Now on the downside, guys, what I don't like is that we basically closed below this 20 EMA, which has acted as pretty good support all throughout, and it was great overhead resistance here in the bear market. So we want to pay attention to that because we're getting basically pushed in between this 20 EMA and this 50. So we're going to find out what's stronger. Is this 20 EMA's resistance going to be stronger, or is the support of this 50 going to be stronger? So that's what I'm paying attention to, guys. But what I like to put together is basically stochastic crosses at areas like a 50 moving average right here, because remember, guys, we're on the one-day chart here, so that's significant data, just so you know. And what I wanted to back test was, if you guys had been here with me and we've been looking at this Bitcoin Cash for a while now, I wanted to see if that 0.6 played out. If you remember, we were taken from our swing high to our swing low here, and we were looking at this 0.6 right up in here, guys, as good overhead resistance. And you can see we actually got through it. We had a few candle closes up above it, and then we just dropped back down to it. Now what we're looking at, which is kind of lining up this 0.5 at $361, that's correlating with this 50 moving average as well. So for me personally, I'm going to look to see, guys, if we're going to be anywhere between that $346 and around that $361, and see if we get some type of a nice bounce off there to potentially set another higher high and come up here, guys. And I feel like the next higher high, when we do have it, if we can break this 456, we're most likely going to run all the way up here to around that $652. We had such a sharp drop here. We're most likely going to make it up on the backside when we decide to put in this higher low. That's the key, guys. Really pay attention to that higher low. Okay, so that's what we're looking at on the Fibonacci here. But guys, remember that when you have those big falls, a bounce back up to that 0.618, it's been pretty consistent here. And if you remember, I was talking to you in the last video, I think we were around 420 or whatever, and we were just saying, guys, we're getting a little overextended, and this is the pullback that we've been waiting for, or the retracement that we've been waiting for. So I want to see if we do go a little bit deeper, but it is getting to a decent point to potentially go long on this, guys. Okay, so those are my downside targets, and like I said, my upside targets, getting up above this 429, then ultimately it's going to be around that $458 right there, guys. Now what we're going to do, we're going to go into more indicators, and we're going to see what the other ones are saying. So far in the stochastic, guys, we are oversold. It's looking like we may get across to the upside there, but we're going to have to correlate that with what type of candle that this ends up forming today. Right now we have a very bearish candle forming, okay, just so you know. All right, guys, next one, let's go to our MACD and see how that's looking. Guys, and on the MACD, you can see we had our bearish cross there that correlated right with this here. We had a bearish engulfing candle up here, and that just pushed us to the downside. Histogram still in the negative. We're going to see if we start to flatten out at all, guys, or start ticking positive. And what you can also do is kind of look through the time frames. Now go to the 12-hour, and you'll see if we start changing. You can see how it's starting to change a little bit, guys, starting to flatten out a little bit. So on the 12, we're seeing that basically we're having a death cross of a 20, our 20 EMA over top of our 50 there, and we were looking to find support off the 100. So things just change as you go through the time frames. But I do like trading a lot on the 4-hour, guys, if I'm in tighter, and I like the 1-day chart. That's what I really pay attention to. So the MACD, guys, a little more bearish right there. Obviously had the bearish cross. Let's check out our RSI next. So that's our relative strength index. And guys, with the RSI here, this is the trend line that I'm going to draw. We're going to treat this as a ceiling. So this would need to be broken at some point. Right there, guys. So we'll draw that. And then what it also looks like here, guys, let me just check this. I just saw this. See that right there? So we're starting to squeeze a little bit. We're getting into one of these symmetrical triangles. So maybe we find support right off this, and then we head back up here, and that would give us a little bit more room to run as well, because the RSI is at 46, so it truly could go either way, guys. We could get a nice bounce up, or we could even fall farther. You know, we've been as low as 16, 13 on the RSI, and we've been up as high as, guys, I believe it was 97 when we really had that big spike. So, you know, these indicators can get very overextended to both ways, and that's why you have to be very careful, okay? And the next one we're going to do, I wanted to go to our Fibonacci here, guys, and I wanted to actually do this whole move from when we started making these higher highs and higher lows and see where we retrace to. Okay, so right here, guys, we're breaking down through the 0.236 right now. So this is what I'm going from our swing low up to our swing high. So that's our 0.236 as a $386. So we're going to have to see what we do today, if we close back up above that or if we close down below it. And then, guys, we look at that 0.382, which is going to be around $326, and that would correlate with the top right over here. So maybe that's a spot that you'd want to put some type of bids in or buys in for, guys. Remember, I'm not your financial advisor, but, you know, that could be an area that was old resistance. We blasted through it. We want it to become new support, so maybe throw some bids around 330, 326, something like that. That's what I like to do, at least, and see if you can catch some. You know, because sometimes you'll have really big falls, guys, and then you'll have something like this, a bullish engulfing candle on some volume, and then all of a sudden you have another leg up. So, you know, these are the things that I like to look for in the market, at least, guys. I don't want to take too much of your time here today. Just wanted to bring this to you quick. So remember, those were my upside targets, my downside targets. We can always move sideways, but let's see what happens with that candle close today. If we're going to close again below that 20 EMA, or if we're finally going to get back up above it. So that's what I'm looking for, guys. And remember, everything's correlated off Bitcoin. We have to pay attention to what Bitcoin's doing. That's the main thing. But, guys, this is an intermediate term bullish uptrend. This has been beautiful. We want to find our next higher low, and then we want to go up and make that next higher high. So if you guys like these Bitcoin Cash videos, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. God bless.